The Flu by George, Xavier, and Christopher. What is the flu? The flu is a viral infection that attacks your respiratory system, the nose, throat, and lungs. It isn't a serious infection if taken care of, but it can get to the point of being fatal. It's an infection that generally takes over the lungs of young children and the older population. The flu has been around since at least 1,000 years and is estimated about one third of the population at the time were infected with the flu. It originated from North Greece and is still going to this day. Are there any treatments for the flu? That is, yes. What are some regarding to the flu? There are antiviral drugs that help with the flu, as well as the main flu vaccine. A couple of days of preventing the flu are practice good hygiene, avoid being around those who are sick, eat well, exercise, and consider taking vitamins. Those are all great examples of uh, protecting yourself against the flu. There are also home remedies for the flu that can potentially save you enough time to see a doctor. The best treatment so far would be the antiviral drug. Why do we need a vaccine? The vaccine is important not only because it keeps us safe, but it keeps those around us safe, like friends and family. As young kids, we're given the vaccine because it's easy for newborns to catch it. It doesn't really hurt to put on a shot that potentially saves your life. It's been known that having the flu vaccine has reduced the risk of getting any other different illnesses. It helps people with chronic health conditions, and best of all, saves children. What are some effects? Some of the short term effects could be something as simple as a cough, maybe a small fever, a sore throat, headaches, runny nose, fatigue, and a couple other things. Some of the more life threatening and long term would probably be death, and short term systems would likely turn to death if not treated. Things like chest pain and seizures are also possible, as well as more serious conditions.
Who created the flu vaccine? Two researchers at the University of Michigan named Thomas Francis Jr., medical doctor, and Jonas Salk, medical doctor, in 1940 with the support of the U.S. Army. Their vaccine uses fertilized chicken eggs as a key component. In 1942, influenza A and influenza B virus vaccines were produced. In 1945, the inactivated influenza vaccine was licensed for use in civilians. Effects of the first flu shot: redness in the nose area, body fatigue, immediate coughing, and sneezing. Flu variations. Four main influenza viruses exist: A, B, C, and D. The different viruses are referred to as types or strains. The human influenza virus types A and B are responsible for the illnesses experienced during the flu season every year. Influenza A caused pandemics, world outbreaks, in the past, like the Spanish flu of 1918. Influenza virus C causes mild sickness, and influenza virus D causes illnesses in cows. Influenza A viruses can also infect different animals like pigs and birds. While it is rare, some animal flu viruses can infect humans, in the past cases with the avian or bird flu. Administering the flu shot. Use a 5/8 to 1 inch needle for men and women who weigh less than 130 pounds. Insert the needle at a 90-degree angle and stretch skin fat between thumb and forefinger. Use a 1 inch needle for men and women who weigh 130 to 152 pounds. Use a 1 to 1.5 inch needle for women who weigh 152 to 200 pounds and men who weigh 152 to 260 pounds. Use a 1.5 inch needle for women who weigh more than 200 pounds and men who weigh more than 260 pounds. Administering the flu shot continued. However, if vaccine must be pre-drawn, do not draw up vaccine before arriving at the clinic site. Drawing up doses days or even hours before a clinic is not acceptable. Each person administering vaccine should draw up no more than one multi-dose vial or 10 doses at one time. Monitor patient flow to avoid drawing up unnecessary doses. Discard any remaining vaccine in pre-drawn syringes at the end of the workday. If different vaccines, such as flu or pneumococcal vaccines, will be available, set up a separate administration station for each vaccine type to prevent medical errors. The Spanish flu. The Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, the deadliest in history, infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide and about one-third of the planet's population, killed an estimated 20 million to 50 million victims, including 675,000 Americans. Began in Europe and parts of Asia, more U.S. soldiers died from the 1918 flu than were killed in battle during the war. The flu is a virus that attacks the respiratory system. The flu virus is highly contagious. When an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks, respiratory droplets are generated and transmitted into the air and can then be inhaled by anyone nearby.
Hello, my name is Xavier, and I'll be talking about data in charts given by the CDC and the Texas Health Department. First of all, we will talk about this chart, which represents the cases and variations of flu during the 2021 and 2022 season. As you can see on the yellow color, the dominant variation during this season was flu type A, which is not subtyped, and the least dominant variation was flu A, subtyped as H1N1. Also, we can see that cases started to increase on the first weeks of December and peaked on the third week of December. I will assume that this peak was caused by holidays and family gathering. Then, flu cases started to decline in January and consistently stayed at an average of 400 cases. After, during the first week and last week of February, cases started to increase and peaked all the way to 1,500 cases. In this chart given by the Texas Health Department, we will talk about deaths that occurred during the 2021 and 2022 season in Texas. As we can see, people that are 65 and over are more likely to die due to flu-related symptoms. We had over 3,000 cases and a mortality rate of 73.40%. Also, the less likely group are those between 5 and 17 years old. We only had 10 cases. As we go more on age, we can see that cases start to increase as we get older. However, those that are between 0 to 4 years of age are more likely to die due to flu related symptoms than those that are between 5 to 17. This is more likely due to immune system not fully developed. Therefore, they are more likely to die than those that are between 5 to 17 that have a more developed immune system. In this map given by the Texas Health Department, we will talk about the influenza activity in Texas. As you can see, we have a concentrated concentrated area in central Texas. And the dominant variation, which represents the yellow color, it's flu variation A. This high activity in central Texas is connected to high population cities such as Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, where spreads can be more easily than those around them. In this map given by the CDC, we can see cases around the nationwide level for the 2021 and 2022 season. In this map, we can see that the southeast area of the country has the highest activity of flu cases. We can also see that the northwest area is the one with a moderate activity and less activity than the other areas. In addition, we can also see that New Jersey, in contrast of all other states, had a very high activity of flu cases. Other states either had a high, moderate, or minimal activity. New Jersey is the only one with a very high activity. Now that we have talked about what the flu is, what are the symptoms, and what's the activity level looking like in your area, I am sure you're worried about the flu. Now, what's the government doing for us to avoid getting the flu and promote vaccination? Well, the government it's using public service announcements, which are non-commercial on-paid radio and television commercials intended for public information. This you can hear or see in your radio station or news channel. Also, our CDC website has a very broad section about the flu on how to avoid it and how to prepare for the flu season before it happens. There's also a very interesting tool, very sophisticated tool, on which you can see a spreadness level in your area by day, week, month, and year. The CDC website will also let you know if there is an outbreak in your area or if any school has been closed in case you're worried about the kids. Also, our government makes sure to prepare campaigns, and there is also a vaccination week that happens on every year during December 6th and December 12th in order for you to get a vaccination for free.